Hello everyone. In this short video, which I want you to watch before the test, I want to talk about a keyword that is called end. This keyword is quite handy. I'm going to show you how it works because in a couple of questions I'm using it because there was no other way for me to have a question and have multiple choice, right? But in general, it's a very interesting, it has an interesting functionality, so I want you to learn it. All right, so remember with print function, whenever we want to print something, whatever happens is you print the statement that you have inside print function, and then it automatically goes to the next line. That is by default. Okay, that is how print function is written, right? Remember, it's a predefined function and it has some rules with it, right? One of the rules, one of the default setting of print function is as soon as you have print, it prints whatever, how many arguments you have inside parentheses, and then it goes to the next line. All right, so let's see an example here. So I have print hello in first line, and then I have word. Okay, so let's run this 2 lines of code and see what we get. So if I run them, you see the first hello, first print function printed hello, and it automatically ended it with a new line. All right, so it went with the went to the next line and printed hello. For instance, if I add extra print empty print function here, I'm going to see a blank line between hello and word, because if you don't have anything, by default it is always going to have that new line character. Okay, so after you're done with your print, it's going to go to the next line. And with this example, since you don't have anything, it just prints that empty line for you. Okay, so it automatically goes to the next line. But sometimes we do not want to go to the next line. We want to stay where we are in the same line. Let's see an example of that. Let's say I want to print numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, so I want to say num equal to 1, and I want to print all the numbers from 1 until num is less than 10. Print num, and then add 1 to my num. So I go to the next line. So you can either say num equal num plus 1, or equivalent of this is going to be plus equal 1. Exact same thing, all right? So it's exactly the same as saying num plus 1, all right? And that is like a sort of short version of this statement, okay? All right, so in this small program, what I have is I'm setting and initializing num to 1. And then with this loop, I'm trying to print all the numbers from 1 to, in this case, I'm printing everything from 1 to 9, right? If I want to also print 10, I need to make this less or equal to 10, right? And you can run it in your head. You can put maybe a small number here and run it inside your head to see why this equal sign is important, if you want to include the upper bound or not. Okay, so practice with it without running it. Try to run it inside your head, see if the logic makes sense, right? So actually, let's go to 5. So with this code, I'm going to see all the numbers from 1 to 5. So here you go. So I have 1 all the way to 5. And all of them, each one of them is printed in its own line, all right? Because I have a print function. Whenever you print something, automatically goes to the next line. It has a new line, like by default, it has a new line character at the end of it. So after you're done printing whatever you have inside parentheses, it goes to the next line, all right? But I do not want to see that new line. I want to have all of those numbers in the same line, all right? There's a way that you can do it, and you can change that default setting using this keyword, end keyword, all right? So the way to do it is you have print, you have num the value that you want to print, and then the final statement you're going to put inside print function is how you want to end it. Okay, if you do not put anything, by default is going to have the new line character for you. But you can say, all right, I want to end it by a space, for instance, or comma and space, all right, whatever you want, or a dash, right? So let's see what we get if we end print function instead of new line with a dash. So here you go. It prints your statement, ends it with a dash, and then it goes to the next item, right? So in this case, everything is in one line. You can change it to whatever character you want to have. Comma and space. Here we go. You get commas after each item. And this is like mainly the thing that I use for the tests, okay? So sometimes I have like a loop or something and I want to see everything in one line because I have just in the multiple choices I cannot have multiple lines. So to make sure I have everything in one line, I use the end keyword, right? So I change the default of the print to make sure all the items are printed in the exact same line. So if you see this end, do not be surprised. It's just the way of changing the default setting of print, and instead of having it to end it with a new line character, you're saying how you want to end it, right? Good luck with the test. I will be available for maybe 1 hour during the day if you have any questions, all right? You have a wonderful test, and I talk to you soon.